My name is Clayton Smith. I'm a son, I'm a grandson, I'm a husband, and most importantly, I'm a father or dad. I'm also an equine veterinarian, and like many dads out there, I know that there's the stresses of life can be difficult to know how to be a good dad and to be a good husband. And Dad University came along at a very good time for me. In our lives, it seems like there's no instructions, there's no instruction manual or grading system to know how we're doing. And so being a dad is an amazing thing for us because it gives us I think a brief picture of the love that our Father has for us as His children, that it's an unwavering love, that no matter where our kids go, that we will support them and we'll be there for them. And just as God is there for us, no matter what happens to us in our lives, we know that we can go to Him and He will comfort us. And another aspect of being a dad that I thought was great, that I learned and knew already, but just realized it more, was, the biggest gift that you can give your children isn't some big shiny thing that you can buy them in a store. It's the attention and your attention that you can give them. And that's one thing that I'd really been leaving out. I thought that being a good dad meant being a good provider, and sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just be home. And it's okay to come home early sometimes and just spend time with them. They enjoy that more than anything that you could ever give them. And one thing that really was going on that I didn't always notice, because you don't notice it, but your children and your family do, is it's easy to let something from work affect you. And when you're a business owner, it seems like you're always working, and you can always find something to do with work. It's not a 9-to-5 job that you can just clock out of a lot of times. And I would let things from work affect my mood, affect my attitude towards the people around me, unfortunately, when I was at home. And I was easily frustrated, and it set a tone in my family that I knew wasn't good. And so one thing that I've really tried to do is, work will be there in the morning, I guarantee it. Those things that seem so important at the time, one thing I try to do is think about them and say to myself, in a year from now, will this really matter? Will I even remember this problem, this client that's unhappy, this work problem, this whatever logistical issue? Will I even remember this a year from now? And most 99 or 95 or a high percentage of the time, it's not something that really deserves causing any type of issue at home with. It doesn't deserve a bad attitude at home. It doesn't deserve not being as loving as I should, or paying as attention as I should. And so I've tried to really focus on that. Don't always succeed at it. I know I can get better at it, but one thing that that's really helped me is trying not to focus on all the details, all the weeds, and just realize that the moments that we have with especially our young children, they will end someday. Those children will grow up and leave our homes, and we won't get that time back. And I don't want to waste that time with little details at work. I don't want them to think of their childhood as a time that, well, Dad was working and I knew not to bother him when he was at home because he was working. I don't want that to be their memories of their childhood. I want them to be excited when I walk in the door from being away at work, and I want to spend time with them and focus on them. And that's one thing that I've really tried to focus in on. I was very fortunate with my upbringing as far as my father. He was a good dad for sure, and it still is. He's still there for me. I could call him night or day and he's going to answer the phone and he's going to give me good advice. He's a God-fearing man that's set a good example for me, and that was another factor that I wanted to I knew I was starting to head down a path that was not good for my family, and I wanted to try to correct that before it became too big of an issue. And I wanted to get back on the right path and give them a childhood that was similar to mine. I just want to continue the legacy that was passed down from my father to my children, and give them an example for their children to come. And I think that just sets a precedent for them that they will want to follow in good footsteps.